How's it going, everybody? Stoudman back at you with another retro game update. Now, I didn't get any new consoles yet or anything. I've just been collecting for my Genesis, mostly. Entirely. I haven't even touched my Master System because, honestly, it's just a little bit harder to find Master System games. And there aren't a whole lot of them that I really want. But the Genesis, completely different story. So I'm going to take off my glasses because I hate the glare that they create. So since I came into a little bit of money recently, I decided to, check out eBay, see if they had any decent deals. And honestly, it's actually kind of hard to find any decent deals on eBay because you get a lot of resellers who will, jack the price up to something way higher than it really should be, and it's just like, why is it? Why? I don't understand why that happens. I mean, I honestly do not think the demand is as high as the price suggests. You know what I mean? Especially in this economy. It's like, why is that happening? And then why, even though the price gets higher than it should be, is the reserve not met? Why are people stupid? Why? I honestly don't understand. I go on Craigslist and I see this, and it's just like, buy my NES. It has 7 crappy games and it works. $150. $150? I was just talking to a friend of mine. Lives in Ohio. Completely different place. More rural, of course. And because it's more rural, he goes on his Craigslist and within seconds he finds an NES with a bunch of games for $10. I'm not even kidding you. It works and everything. Tons of games. Not the greatest games. There were some good ones, but not the greatest games. But working NES, controllers and everything, and the games, $10. But no, when you get into the big city, when you get into bigger areas with more suburbs and less rural areas, like where I live, you get a bunch of people trying to rip you off. And it's not like a bunch of people just trying to get a little bit more money, which is what people tend to try and do on Craigslist. A little bit more money than they're going to get elsewhere. No! It's this fucking asshole who's literally trying to rip you off, like charging not a few dollars more, but a few $100 more than it's worth. And I'm not saying the NES isn't worth, I'm not saying it's worth only $10, but it's definitely not worth $150 freaking dollars with 7 crappy games. No. I hate that. I really do. I mean, I recently saw I guess this is turning into a bit of a rant, but so be it. I recently saw a advertisement for the Top Loader NES. Some of you might know. It came out in the mid-90s. That one was originally sold for $49.99 or $95, one of those. My brother got it. I remember he had that, and I was like, why did you get another NES? We already had an NES. This is like the old game system. Why would you want to get the old game system? But then I played some games on it, and I realized, dog bone controller aside, this is actually kind of a cool system. I don't have to blow on any of the cartridges. They just freaking work. This is brilliant. I like it. But, yeah, that didn't last because eventually that got sold. And, wow, I've been regretting not picking up one of those for myself when they were $49.95 because now they're not $49.95. If you want a top-loading NES, you're going to pay more than $49.95. And that's not for new. That's for used beat to crap. If you did find an NES top loader for $49.95, chances are it would be completely beat to crap and probably not even working. But if you found one that was working and looked brand new, expect to pay at least $80. That's kind of ridiculous. It's crazy to me. It's like, if I could go back in time, one of the main things I'd like to do is buy an NES top loader back when it was a reasonable price. But I digress, as I tend to do. I picked up 9 Genesis games after a while of looking around on eBay and finally getting some decent deals on a few things. Some of these I'm not intending to keep, honestly. Probably either sell them or I don't know. But I'm going to keep them from now because I don't really have any plans for them right now. But, you know, suffice it to say, I didn't buy the lot of games because of this one game that I really hate that I'm looking at right now. And I'm like, why? Why? I bought these in 3 separate lots. Which totaled to about $25 total. So for $25, I got 9 games for the Genesis, and I think I made out pretty damn good. Let me know what you think. Alright, so I'm going to just start off with the game that I don't give a damn about that I was like, why? Sonic 3D Blast. Do you remember this game? This game has very bad controls, and oh, I hate the top-down isometric crap. I really do. And it's just like, this is not Sonic the Hedgehog. It's not 3D. It's not Sonic the Hedgehog. It's not any good. It's crap. This is crap. Do not buy this just because it has Sonic in the name. It's crap. But yeah, this is one of those, you know, just, it kind of came with the rest of the good stuff, you know, like, well, I mean, I wonder, do people just put these in these, I mean, I see these all the time, these crappy games in these lots. They put them in there with the other good games just to get the frickin' hell rid of them? Because I'd believe that. I mean, how else are you going to get rid of it? I'm probably going to take this game store like 5 cents. Take it! Please burn it at the stake! Alright, so next up, continue on with the Sonic. I got the not for resale version of Sonic the Hedgehog. And yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog. Not my favorite Sonic the Hedgehog though, but, you know. I figured it's the Genesis, you're going to need some Sonic. And I got this in one of the lots, and yay, Sonic! But not my favorite Sonic game because, you know, honestly, it's because you can't do the spin move. You can't do the whole, you know, press down and then, you know, that, honestly, is what makes a Sonic game playable to me because sometimes you'll end up in a place where you could really use that in this game, and it's not there, and you're like, what do you want me to do? Run and then that's harder, and it's not as fast, and it's not as cool. I mean, why? But no, you know, Sonic, it's good. So yeah, since we're still on the Sonic kick here, we've got the Sonic 3D Blast and Sonic the Hedgehog. Why don't we go on to probably my favorite Sonic game, Sonic 2. I still remember when I was in the store in Target, actually, when they first had this on display when I was a kid. It was the first time I had ever even seen a Genesis, let alone played a game on a Genesis. And, you know, I wasn't exactly sold. I was totally a Nintendo fanboy at that point, but I did like it. I couldn't deny that I did really like this game, and eventually went on to play it a little bit more here and there, and I never had like a Genesis as a kid, but my friends did and played it on their system and whatnot. And yeah, Sonic 2 is definitely one of the best games of all time. I mean, I don't. Can you really argue that? Can you really argue that? It's Sonic 2. This is Sonic 2. It's like the best, some of the best music in video game history, right here. And then the gameplay. Forget about it! The only problem I really have with this is like, freaking this guy, Tails, is a fucking asshole. I mean, he is of no use. I mean, even as a second character, like, so your younger sibling who you hate can play as another character in the game. He is completely useless. Even then, he's completely freaking useless. And then, oh my god, when you're playing as Sonic and Tails, and you're under the water, and you're about to die, and you're right next to an air bubble, and you're like, oh, come on, air bubble, air bubble. And then this fucking asshole comes in and steals your freaking air bubble. Fuck Tails! So, to continue with the procession of Sonic games, yes, I continued on with Sonic 3. Now, the cover's a little more dirty and stuff, you know. Honestly, it looks like it's been dipped into a vat of corn oil or something. I don't know what causes that, but yeah. And of course, yeah, right there, you can see a little clearly there. There was some kind of a sticker that somebody peeled off, and when they peeled it off, they peeled off part of the freaking cover. Way to go! Genius! Genius! So yeah, Sonic 3. I mean, I figured if I have Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3D Blast, I might as well have Sonic 3. Especially since I've never actually played this game. So yeah, I never played any Sonic game after Sonic 2. I'm not even kidding. I didn't. I mean, I played the... I'm talking about on the Genesis here. On the Genesis, Sonic 2 was the height of my Sonic awareness. When it got to like the Dreamcast and stuff, I played the Sonic Adventure 2, stuff like that. But I never played Sonic CD until I recently bought it off of Steam. Never played Sonic 3 or Sonic and Knuckles or Sonic and whatever the fuck. I didn't. So I was like, well, I gotta get this just to try it out to see what it's like because I haven't ever played it. And then, of course, to finish off the procession of Sonic games, yes, I got another Sonic game. I didn't have a Sonic. Sonic and Knuckles. Of course. How could you go wrong? Now, what I didn't know about this until actually getting in the mail and then looking it up on Wikipedia and stuff is that, bam, has an expansion slot, and when you plug in Sonic 3, for instance, suddenly, actually this isn't plugged in very well, but yeah, suddenly Sonic and Knuckles becomes Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And it's the same with Sonic 2. If you place Sonic and Knuckles with Sonic 2 attached, it takes Sonic 2 and turns it into Sonic 2 with Knuckles as the main character. Which I played a little bit of it as and honestly, some parts are easier with Knuckles, and then other parts, it's just like, he doesn't jump as high as Sonic. And you just like, I need to be able to beat you, Dr. Robotnik, and I can't jump up on top of this thing to get to you. And whenever I can, you only let me get you once. I suck at Sonic games. But now I'll have two that I've never played before to play and check out. And of course, I'll be able to try and beat Sonic 2 as Knuckles, and then try out the Sonic 3 version of Sonic and Knuckles too. So, yeah, lots of Sonic going around here, folks. Lots of Sonic, but it's not over yet. Not completely. Because there's a reason I'm probably not going to keep that not for resale version of Sonic, and that is because I got the Sega 6-pack, which includes Sonic the Hedgehog on it, the original Sonic the Hedgehog. It also has Super Hang-On, Revenge of Shinobi, Columns, what else? Golden Axe, and Streets of Rage. Streets of Rage and Revenge of Shinobi, pretty much the main reasons I got this. Two very excellent games on the Genesis. Instead of buying them separately, I just figured, well, I'm going to get the 6-pack. And no regrets. It's a great little cartridge to have for your Genesis. If you had this and nothing else on your Genesis, you'd be pretty much okay. You know, I mean, you don't necessarily need anything else. Next up, I picked up X-Men, the original X-Men game for the Sega Genesis. I remember playing this when my brother, I can't remember exactly how it happened, but my brother kind of, either he referred me to this or he told me to rent it so that he could play it, and I watched him. I can't remember exactly how it happened, but I do remember it had something to do with my brother, and I have my brother to thank for knowing about this game and knowing that it's probably one of the few decent X-Men games through the 8 and 16-bit era, as it were. You know, there weren't really any good licensed X-Men games at that time. And this one, it's pretty good. It's very hard, very steep learning curve, but it's pretty good. And I have to say the music is kind of crappy, in my personal opinion. But it's still a pretty good X-Men game, and it's definitely one of the ones that I wanted to have in my collection just so I can, recall those memories. So, I'm glad to have it. X-Men on Genesis. This one I'm not sure if I'm going to keep again because fighting games, with the exception of a few, I mean, honestly, aren't that good on the Genesis. Got the 3-button. Maybe I just need to get like the 6-button Genesis controller. I've got 2 of the 3 buttons, and it's not going to work with fighting games. It's really not. But Super Street Fighter 2, excellent classic game to have for any 16-bit collection, obviously. But honestly, it's better on the SNES, and I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I might. I mean, it didn't cost me that much. I mean, might as well. But we've got to have a fighting game, right? I don't know. I like Street Fighter 2. Obviously, it's one of the best fighting games ever made. It's just playing it on the Genesis is not the way I remember playing it. I remember playing it on the SNES, So, anyways, let's get this over with. The final game that I got to add to my collection, last but not least, the case. I didn't even realize it was coming with the case, and the case has seen better days. I'm pretty sure this isn't even salvageable. I'm getting you ready for this because it looks like crap, and I'm pretty sure it's not even salvageable. I'm not even going to try. I'm going to keep the case, but I'm not going to try and salvage it or make it look any better because there you go. Check this out here. You see that? You see where somebody peeled off a sticker ages ago and just left it that way ages ago? And said, yeah, this good. Let's just stick with this. This is good. This is fine. It's great. It's great. Just keep this. Keep it like this. This is the way the game freaking should look. It's the way it should look. And then on the back we got this old Blockbuster. Yeah. It's probably where somebody got it, Blockbuster. But anyways, the actual game itself, after a little bit of peeling carefully, doesn't look too bad. So it's Tiny Toon Adventures, Buster's Hidden Treasure. It's one of the better platformers during the day. I mean, there was actually quite a few decent Tiny Toon games back then. The Tiny Toon games are something a lot of people just kind of forget about, and they're really good. I mean, this has a password system, and I don't really like password system, especially for a platformer, but especially this password system and this platformer, it's just like it doesn't feel right. It doesn't work. It feels more like a game that should have an autosave feature, but doesn't have an autosave feature. That being said, great gameplay. I mean, if you like good platformers and you're looking for something to while away a day or so, literally just sitting at your console playing one game exclusively the entire day, then it's good. But if you don't want to mess with the password systems and you don't want to sit there for a while playing through the game, and you don't want to keep your system on for a couple of days while you're waiting to finish it, then yeah. But I really love this game. It reminds me of the Tiny Toon game that they have on the Game Boy. Tiny Toon Adventures Bab's Big Break. Probably help more to see the actual. Yeah, there you go. That's more in focus. Bab's Big Break. It's a great game. If you haven't played it, I mean, definitely need to check it out. But yeah, I mean, this game in particular reminds me a lot of that. It's like Bab's Big Break, but it's in color. So yeah, definitely worth picking up if you haven't checked it out yet. I love me a good platformer like that from back in the day. You know, platformers just aren't the same anymore, are they? They really aren't. So anyways, that's it. That's the 9 games I got. I got Sonic 1, 2, 3, 3D Blast, Sonic and Knuckles, and then Sonic 1 again on the 6-pack, Super Street Fighter 2, X-Men, Tiny Toon, Adventures, Buster's Hidden Treasures, and yeah, along with the other Sonic, I got the rest of the games on the 6-pack. So I guess instead of 9, I really got like 14, 15 games, something like that. I'm too tired to do the math. I mean, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Revenge of Shinobi, Column, Super Hang-On, 6-pack. That's what it's all about. So for $25, I mean, that's not a bad deal. The ones that I was really, happy about getting for that price were, of course, the 6-pack and Sonic and Knuckles. The others are just like a bonus. I mean, I wouldn't, separately, I wouldn't pay more than $3 for this. I wouldn't pay more than $1 for Sonic 3D Blast. I wouldn't even bought it. Sonic 3, paid about $5 for that. X-Men, paid another $5 for that. Super Street Fighter 2 on the Genesis, maybe $3 or $4. The original Sonic, $1 or $2 maybe. I mean, there's just so many in the world. There's so many of those cards. But these, Sonic and Knuckles, it's not always easy to find this for less than like $5 to $10. And the same can also be said for the 6-pack because it's got so many great games. So, yeah. I am very happy about that. In fact, let me show you something. Oh yeah! This isn't going to work. It's not going to do anything. But yeah, I'm happy to have 9 more awesome games in my Sega Genesis collection. Sadly, only one with the box, but what you going to do? I mean, my Genesis collection is really starting to boom. I mean, I think I had like 7 games before. Out of these 9, and that's like 16. Yeah. And then the other 5 games on here, that'd be like 21 games for my Genesis, right? So, and then if you consider the Sonic 2 attached to Sonic Knuckles and the Sonic 3 attached to Sonic Knuckles, you consider those games, maybe 23 games. Yeah. But anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for watching this long and rant-filled retro video game update. I'll catch you later. Peace. Game Boy Advance case. Yes, it's the old Game Boy Advance. The good one. I'm sorry, I know the screen sucks, but it's still better. Yeah.